Okay, we are live.
All right.
We're live and recording, and we're ready to rock and roll.
We are large and in charge, especially the large part. So, how you been, my friend?
So, I have been wonderful. Just got off of a long weekend.
Nice.
Of working, and it's really been crazy. So now got a couple days of rest, and now I'm back into normal.
Yeah, I feel that, Mama. Last week was a rough week, so I appreciate it. We got the two dogs now, and between the two of them, they're going crazy, and so it's been rough to keep them, keep them happy. But it's been fun. So I missed you last week, though. I'm glad we're back on together.
I did too. Yeah, I missed you too. So, did you get the chance to watch the game last night?
I caught pieces of it. Amber ended up going with her mom to dinner, and so I had the two dogs, and they are very rambunctious, is I think the best word to say. And yeah, long story short is when they weren't losing their minds, and I wasn't losing my mind trying to watch them, I caught a bit of the game. That game was nuts. But every game with them has been nuts, and I'm not sure what the deal is. But Vegas has really surprised me. There's some extra light. Really has surprised me because I'll be honest. When we were looking at this round of things, I was thinking that Carolina is completely unlike any other team Vegas has faced. Right, all of the Western teams that they've faced have been similar in the way that they play. Offensive teams that aren't necessarily grindy, teams that aren't going to bring you to 5 shots in a period, and I was like, Vegas can play a heavier game like the Canes can, but Vegas hasn't played a team like the Canes. And granted, they've played Colorado, they've played Anaheim, they've played us, and each one of those rounds are looser teams defensively, teams that have skill. Not saying Carolina doesn't have skill, but they rely overly on skill, where Carolina, relies on shutting you down. And so I was like, you know what, Vegas is going to have a hard time just because of not necessarily the quality of the opponent, but I mean, let's face it, Carolina's a good opponent, but the style of play, and they proved me a bit wrong yesterday. So.
Yep.
One of the things that I really enjoy about Carolina is the defensive side of it.
Vegas has not really gone up against somebody with a major defense, and so the way that Carolina's playing right now is awesome.
Yeah. And so, when you look, Carolina did what? They kept the Canadians to, I think it was 6 shots between a third period and overtime, maybe 5 between a third period and 15 minutes and an overtime. And that's absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane they did that well in kind of shutting them down. So I kind of expect that eventually to be against Vegas, but maybe Vegas's team is too strong to allow them to shut them down the way that they succeed,
When I did my pregame show, I actually called out Vegas winning game one.
And then Carolina
coming back and winning
the series.
In game 6 or 7. So that's what I think is going to happen.
I have a feeling that's going to happen too. Carolina also didn't do well against Montreal the first game. And as that series went on,
exactly.
Yeah. And as the series went on, Carolina dictated their game. Now, Vegas is different than Montreal as well. So, it'll be interesting to see how Carolina fares against them. But, I mean, Carolina had, big breaks in their game. They were a little bit rusty against Montreal in their first game. So I honestly thought that Vegas would have been the rustier team, with the sweep of Colorado. So interesting on how they're playing out. But again, it's a good matchup. I hate both teams with a passion, but it's been a good matchup.
You're right. I don't like Vegas at all. I kind of like Carolina. The way that their playing style is very reminiscent of the old East Coast play, which I really do like.
Yeah, back in the day,
very defensive oriented, shots oriented.
Yeah, back in the day, Carolina and the Islanders faced each other a bunch of times, and Carolina always got the better of the Islanders, which makes me hate them because both teams had similar styles, but Carolina had better players. And so it always frustrated me.
Yeah.
But that team has remained a defensive team under Brindamore, which, by the way, Brindamore looks like the most punchable coach in all of sports, and I stand by that.
So as a long-time player and also follower of the Islanders and everybody else, the old style of building up from the ground up compared to what Vegas is doing,
where they
go out and get people, they just let people go. I think of Marc-Andre Fleury, where they just said, you're out of here.
Yeah. They're ruthless, man. They're ruthless.
Right after he won the
yeah.
But is that the right way to go about it nowadays? With 32 teams, is that the right way to go?
I mean, from a management standpoint, it's been very successful for them. From a player personnel and from kind of more of a, I don't want to say moralistic, but from the fan side of things, I think it's not, because you're not it's not conducting goodwill to the fan base. Fan favorites like Fleury, he didn't need to go. He didn't need to go the way he went.
No.
It was just. It doesn't speak well to players. Now, I'll use Utah and even the Islanders as an example, right? When Schaefer got drafted, they, stitched his mom's name. They really did the extra touches for the kid because, they wanted to keep him for a long time. But there's respect that, that has to be there, right? A lot of these guys are going to be doing stuff on the island. Look here in Utah, Smith is putting all of these things together for the players. They're building community. And I mean, I'm not down in Vegas, but my sales guy is a Vegas fan, and chatted a little bit about him. But it's like, what is the community down there, right? Like everyone likes Mark Stone because he's been there, and that's kind of their face of things. But when it's all said and done, will they drop Stone like that? And they might, the way that they've conducted business before. And so it's been effective. They've been bringing in players, right? Not only players, but look, they bailed on Cassidy, and no one saw that coming. But it's hard to speak against the success that they've seen. I don't think Cassidy has them in the playoffs the way Tortorella's had them.
No,
I don't think Cassidy would have done as well as what they did.
But you can't
argue with what they've done. 8 out of 9 years, they've been in the playoffs, and three times to the Stanley Cup Finals,
which is insane. And I mean, there is some cooking with that, right? Like there's been some salary cap things with Stone, the way that they got drafted with the league and the kind of the entry draft or the expansion draft. No one had an idea what was going on. So then when Seattle had theirs, Seattle kind of got the bad end of things. And so, Vegas benefited from that. They benefited from, just the cap situation. But ultimately, at the end of the day, them being ruthless has proven successful. Is it long-term, positive for the team? I don't think so, because I think if you're a player, if you're, third liner, fourth liner, you're not a superstar. I mean, hell, you might be. Fleury is still considered, either a star or / superstar. and they bailed on him. So if you're a player, yeah, you're going to get paid going to Vegas, but what about your stability? You got kids. Do you want to have those kids, uprooted in the middle of not, So there is that stability question. If you're a free agent, do you necessarily want to go to Vegas? And then on top of that, Marner, which is the best pickup they could have gotten. There was the tampering there. Everyone knew Marner was going to go, but it's just there's things I look at with Vegas that aren't the most up and up things. But being ruthless has paid off for them. And at the end of the day, if you're counting cups, they're not counting everything you got it.
Yeah. It's crazy what they've done, and it's been very successful, but it's going totally against what everybody in the NHL has done.
Exactly. And in a way, it kind of feels like Moneyball, right? Where, things used to be a specific way in baseball, and then analytics and advanced analytics came out. I don't think it's the same situation, but I think there's some similarities in the way that, things are getting processed and done. So I don't know. I don't necessarily think other teams may adopt it. But there is a potential that other teams look at it and go, hey, you know what? We're going to treat these players as commodities instead of part of a team. And that's going to make me a little bit sad because that's kind of more like the NBA plan. And I don't think that that's going to be very, successful long term. I think, there's got to be some, better balance between the two, because you don't want to hold on to a fan favorite till he's, 45 years old and falling apart. But at the same time, you don't want to cut like Sidney Crosby off in his prime because he wants $50 more than you want to put him over the cap, So.
Right,
yeah. And I actually want to ask everybody in the live right now,
what do you guys think? Do you like the way Vegas does everything? Do you think it's good for hockey, or do you think the old way of building up from the ground up with some superstars and bringing in somebody? It's a great question to ask a lot of people.
And that is Selly, by the way.
Let us know what you think.
Well, what are your thoughts overall?
I mean, it's really worked. What's my thoughts?
Yeah. While we wait for some comments, what do you think overall?
I hate it from the fan standpoint. Because you're right. You cannot have those people that you just follow, you love, the Kellers, the Coolies that we follow.
But you can't
go against what they have done in their 9 years of existence. 3 Stanley Cup Finals, 8 out of 9 years of being in the playoffs. That's the goal of an NHL team. That's the goal of an owner and also of the GM.
And ultimately the fans.
Is it?
Yeah,
it really is of the fans. And I know a lot of Vegas fans, and a lot of them are respectable, and some of them are not. But they don't really follow the players; they follow the team.
Where like you and I,
we follow the players
and the team. Yeah, I mean that's where the balance is. For
of course, also the team, but it's more.
Right, like I look at things, and I don't bring up Schaefer because I like to bring up Schaefer. I love the kid. If he wasn't drafted with us, I'd be following his career somewhere else. Would I be as in love with the kid? Probably a little bit less. But I'd still follow his career, right? The fact that he's with the Islanders and, got that history there is fantastic. But of course, I'm always going to follow the Islanders because I've always followed the Islanders, just like I'm going to now always follow Utah because I've been here since day one. But that doesn't necessarily mean anything, right? Like right now, Kesselring. I loved Kesselring, have his jersey, have his gear. Wish I would have gotten something signed, but he wasn't a big guy about signing things. And I thought he was fantastic, and I was very upset when he left. So I watched him in Buffalo. I mean, not a lot because he was scratched and he sat a lot, but I wanted to see how his career went. Same with Josh Dillon, right? He wasn't my favorite player, but I thought he was good. And so I want to see them succeed unless they're playing my teams. So
yeah, well,
exactly.
And it's
It's those people that you really fall in love with. And Cooley for me, Heller for me, Kraus, Schmaltz, Castle Ring. They all came from Arizona. The core of the group came from Arizona, and it's so much fun watching those kids still grow, and that's what made me into a Utah Mammoth fan. It was not the fact that my Coyotes left. It was these players that I follow. So
yeah. Well, that makes sense too because it was your team. I hate saying it, but in a way, it was kind of like how they relocate, right? When Hartford went to Carolina, it was a relocation, right? When Quebec went to Colorado, it was a relocation. This was not a relocation, but it was a relocation. I mean, let's face it. And so at the end of the day, it's still the same team, even if they're like, oh, the history is not the same. It's the same team. It's the same players, same coaching, same everything in a different city.
Yep. That's all it is. The only thing that changed is the location and the ownership.
And the logo. It's a pretty cool logo.
I still like that logo.
I'm going to have to share a logo with you. There was a guy on Twitter or Reddit, I can't remember, who did a Mammoth logo in that color scheme. It was bad ass. I would love if, I don't know, maybe I'll see if I can get a custom jersey done, get you one too.
I think I saw that.
It was really cool. I actually
even
did
a couple of different teams.
Yep. He did the Mammoth and the Kachinka.
Yeah.
And then he did the Kachinka in the blue, black, and white. And they were good crossovers. So I just am sad that
unfortunately I don't see it ever happen.
Yeah.
Just for the simple fact of the Utah Mammoth do not own the Coyotes.
And that's really kind of unfortunate. At the end of the day, I'm kind of sad that they don't have that history because, man, imagine the throwbacks that could happen. I mean, they're very popular in Carolina,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I would love to see that. Or at least something to attribute to it. I think that'd be great.
And so, I mean, you look, it's its own franchise. It's distancing itself from Arizona and Winnipeg behind it.
Yep.
So, we're creating our own traditions, our own fan base, our own everything. So there is that to be said, where we're not necessarily stealing, all of these other things that, Arizona had or what. But, you look and some of the traditions that we're trying to steal are ones that are, league wide. Hey, we wanted to do the whiteout with the white towels for the playoffs. A lot of people do. I would have preferred if we did a blue towel wrap, but we still have a little while to go to make all the culture our own. And that's the thing, but
it started though.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's definitely getting there. So
yeah,
the culture in the
Zone B or whatever it was. Yeah.
I still think it should have been called the Mamboni, but the Zammoth is what they have, and it's pretty cool. So
Zammoth.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll have to send a picture for us to throw up in as a thumbnail for one of these with Amber and I standing in it. It was pretty cool.
I'm jealous that you guys got on there.
Not during the game. I'm trying to push during the game, but I did the Zamboni last year. It was absolutely fantastic. One of my friends took a video and shared it with me, and it was great. And I think,
cool.
Yeah. So shout out to Brian for that video. That was real fun.
When I saw Brandon on there, Brandon Barkley. I messaged him and he's like, "What? You're in town?
That was so cool.
I was like, "No, sorry, I just saw you."
I'm glad when you did come though, and I'm glad you're going to be here for the Winter Class or the Winter Classic. Yes.
Yeah,
my brain
my tickets for everything. So yeah.
Nice. My brain's been brain farting lately, and I don't like that.
That's okay. I'm sitting here trying to figure out the GM from Colorado left to go to Nashville. And I'm trying to remember what his name is.
Oh God, I don't know off the top of my head. I'd have to look it up.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know, I'm less familiar with GMs, unless and that's almost a good thing because if your GM is his name is in my head, he's either absolutely terrible or absolutely fantastic. Like Bill Guerin sticks in my head because I think he's done a lot of good things for the Wild, but like he's one of a handful, right? I look at some of the other ones and it's like, Yzerman, you know, the Yzer plan, but he's been there forever, right? I couldn't tell you right now who the GM for half the teams are, you know, but like I look at, you know, obviously the Islanders and Mammoth I know, but what's his name from Chris something from the Rangers? Like I know him because he's terrible, right? Like
Chris
Drury, thank you, because he's terrible, and that's one of those names you know because it's like you want to make fun of him. So.
Yeah, that's a guy that needs to go away.
Oh, I love him being there. I don't think he needs to go anywhere. Continue to ruin that franchise, brother. Continue to just straighten to the ground.
So it is actually McFarland.
Oh,
McFarland left the GM position in Colorado and went to Nashville for the GM and also got president of hockey operations, I believe it was.
I'm kind of a little bit surprised about it. I still think the whole Barry Trotz thing was kind of a mistake. Because Barry Trotz as a coach was fantastic. And that whole situation with the Islanders, he was having kind of a bad year. I know his mom passed, and he was having some struggles with that. And, you know, they ended up letting him go. And that was a Lamoriello problem. I didn't like it at the time. And I'll talk about it for a minute now. I'm sorry to kind of go off on a tangent a little bit. But when Barry Trotz ended up taking the job in Nashville, it kind of made sense because that was his roots, right? That was where he coached forever, you know, had family and friends there forever. And so it kind of made sense. But I sat there and I'm like, why did that move happen when it happened? Because the Islanders moved on from Trotz to Lambert, and Lambert was terrible. And Trotz was the guy who put all the systems together. He was the guy who did all of that for the Islanders. And then I started thinking, I was like, you know, with his mom passing and his son is disabled. So was it, hey, you know, I'm realizing things need to change in my life because there's, you know, age being a factor, or, you know, now that family's gone, family was a factor. So there's a part of me that wonders, you know, was that at play? Was that a decision that Lamoriello made in conjunction with what the plans for Trotz were? But either which way, and then Trotz, stepped down from the GM role. He was not really great at it. But that's a situation of, you know, failing upwards. You know, you keep doing really well, and then they're going to promote you to a spot where you're no longer doing well. But as a coach, Trotz is fantastic. As a GM, he was kind of bad. So.
So I actually heard a little bit on the NHL network when I was driving to work, and I did not realize that Joe Sakic was so much in control of Colorado.
Yeah,
and where McFarland really didn't make any decisions.
Mm-hmm. And that doesn't, surprise me that he moved for that reason.
Right.
Yeah, Sakic, one of my friends who lived here for a while, left a long time ago, but Kevin and I talked about it a while ago, and a long time ago. And Sakic is just kind of what like Yzerman is in Detroit, except successful.
Yeah.
And I don't want to throw. Now, I'm going to say this. I'm not trying to throw shade at Yzerman. I actually like Detroit and want to see them do well. Just again, not against my teams.
I know it's hard to go. We're rooting for that person, except for just like McFarland. I want him to do well, but not too well.
You know, honestly, I'm fine with him doing well. If that means Colorado suffers a little bit. Although I think Colorado is going to be in for a rude awakening now in the offseason here, because getting swept when, look at Utah put up the biggest fight, I think, so far against Vegas, which I'm very proud of. Colorado just rolled over. That was embarrassing. The Ducks played all right, but the Ducks were overmatched. I mean, plain and simple. We were too, but we didn't lose any game decidedly except for that last game. Everything was a good game, So, Game 6.
And we've got a history of playing the bigger name through the Colorados, Minnesotas. We play tougher.
We play to the level of our competition is really what it looks like, and that is really good and really bad. It's really good because I felt like we could beat Colorado, we could beat Minnesota. It would be tough against Detroit, Dallas. I think Dallas would have been the one team other than Vegas we would have had trouble with, and Edmonton potentially. But Dallas would have been a team we had trouble with. But Colorado, I think we could have beaten. Minnesota, we could have beaten. Anaheim, we could have beaten. LA, obviously, anyone could have beaten. And then on the East, I feel like we could have beaten most of the teams. But you look how we played against Chicago. Look how we played against Calgary. We played down to the level of competition. And I think, at the end of the day, you look at some of that and that could be a coaching issue. But I don't know. So
I agree with you. I think
it's a coaching issue.
Well, I have
it's a leadership issue somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I have a friend with the team, and I was chatting with him not too long ago. And coaching is going to stay as it is for quite a while, just so you know. Because they're looking at Tarigny as a development coach for TJ Iginla, for Desnoyers, and for the other kid. I can't think of his head right now. I can't think of his name right now. Caleb something.
Is he defense?
He's the offensive guy. He's the center.
Caleb Desnoyers.
No, you got Desnoyers and Iginla.
Quiche.
And then not that it's Caleb Smith or so. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but one of the other prospects.
Smith.
Yeah, it's probably him then. Either way, they want to develop those players. Yeah, they want to develop those guys. Because it looks like the plan this year is to get Iginla in, full-time minutes. And then, from there, what are they going to do? I do know I actually had a really good conversation where we talked about Ian Cole too, and about how he might be coming back from a leadership role, which I was not aware he was such a great leader in the room. I kind of have crapped on him here and there. But he's apparently a really good leader in the room and somebody that they seem to want to play with and for. So I'm good with bringing him back if he's good there for the team. But does that take away from Mavlam? Does that take away from Simashev? Does that take away from anyone else out there? But who knows? Sinica, I think is
as the leader though. Ian Cole will step aside.
Yeah,
let those kids in.
I'm fine with that. I just think that you got to put the best team you got on the ice ahead of them. Last year, I think was rough because when you had Sergachev was not great defensively all year, and so you ended up putting what's his face with him, Simashev with him. Simashev struggled because he was still learning the game, learning the NHL versus the KHL. And you wanted him to be a defenseman that was able to, keep up with guys who are way more skilled than what he's used to. Not way more, but definitely more skilled than what he's got in the KHL. You want him to adjust to a new rink, and you want him to have a defensive partner that basically forgoes defense for offense in every step of the word. And it was a rough adjustment for him. And I think this year he's going to have a better opportunity. But again, you look at that. You look at even Uyghur struggled when he was with Sergachev at points. Just because of the way it was. So I think it was kind of a little rough patch for defense this last year. So I wonder what they're going to do. I wonder how they're going to play out the lines moving forward. Because I don't, DeSimone is not coming back. They're not going to retender him an offer. So you've got that one spot there. Durzee's coming back, but we all know how I feel about Dursey. And then so you've got Uyghur, you've got Marino.
No, I don't. Tell me again.
We got Marino, we got Dursey, we've got Schmidt, you've got Uyghur, and you've got Sergey. And so you're looking at one spot really for the other six guys effectively. So I love you, Em. But so it'd be interesting to see, because if Cole comes back, that's the sixth spot, and then who do you got? You got Mavlam, you got Simashev to ride the pine, and I don't like that, But I even said I didn't understand why they let Cole run as many minutes as they did at the end of the year. They needed to have him sit a couple of times, because I hate saying it, but dude, at his age, because he's younger than me, but he's definitely older. At his age, he didn't need to play 15, 20 minutes a night. He could have taken a day off. He could have taken here and there, especially going into the playoffs. You needed him to be top, and he struggled a little bit. And that was kind of, Vegas was a better quality team than a lot of people gave him credit for, and B, I mean, you're going to wear down over an 82-game season. I don't think he missed many, if any, games. I think he played 80 to 82 games. I don't think he's missed much. So.
No, they need to do something where we can have 7 defensive players. We need to find another goalie. That's where I'm worried about. Our offense is fine, but I think the defensive side is really it's coming together. And Simi he's definitely in charge of that defense. Uyghur's playing much better now. Get the other guys locked up, and let's keep those guys going. And then we need to worry about a freaking goalie. We need a backup. Veggie needs a break.
Yep. Backup goalie has got to be the number one target acquisition at this point. Although, Veggie did have a really good season, and he seemed to be no worse for wear, but that's not going to be, it's almost like starting pitchers in the MLB, right? Starting pitchers used to be, 9-inning guys, going for complete games. And I don't think I've seen a complete game in years, right? Like 3-4 years. And, but that's to preserve their longevity in the league. And, a quality pitcher, you know what they are. Same thing with goaltending. A quality goaltender is going to take you, a ways. But, I mean, I hate to say this, but, when you look at Veggie, I don't consider Veggie one of the top 5 goaltenders in the league. He's definitely top 15. He's not bad enough to be in the lower half of things, but I'd probably rate him 12 to 9 to 12 basically where things are. And so is longevity going to be his thing, or are you looking for Hrabel down the road a little bit? Either which way, you do need to get him back up, right? You want to get him somebody that, like you look at an Anderson, Anderson's 36 for Carolina. You can run him into the ground. He's not going to have much left on his career, unfortunately. But, you look at Veggie's still got a bit in his career. You shouldn't shorten his career just because you can't, afford a backup. So then again,
he's got another 5-6 years, so he should be good.
Then again,
I'm just curious about what Miami or Florida's going to do with Bobrovsky.
That's a really good question, because they're kind of in a bad situation with him now. Cap wise, him going gives them a lot of flexibility, but stability wise, that is bad for them, because there's not a lot of good UFAs on the market for goaltending in the offseason. And even if they were like, hey, you know what, we're going to trade for goaltending.
There's not.
Yeah, even if they're going to trade for goaltending, they don't have a lot of assets to trade. They've kind of burned through their trade capital because their draft capital, because they're drafting. There goes whatchamacallit. They've been so high for so long. They're not getting what's going on with my screen here. They're not getting themselves a like a first round pick for anything.
It's catching the light.
Yeah, something's going on with my computer. Anyway, I don't know what they're going to do. It's going to be interesting for them moving forward where they're going to go. So, Do you see me on the Riverside? Because I think my screen.
It's really going to be. No, I see it just fine.
Okay, because my screen died, so I don't know what's going on there.
Oh, no.
That's all good. I'll figure it out later.
Okay. Hey, Kevin.
Oh, there's Kevin. What's up, man?
Mr. Hashimoto's just joined on
the... Good to see you, brother.
So, I'm curious on who else you know in Arizona, because I know that's not me. So, Kevin, you're pretty big into the world of Mammoth. Who? Thank you, boss. I love you. Who do you think we should pick up as a backup goaltender?
You asking me or Kevin? I'm thinking Kevin, right?
No, Kevin.
Yeah.
What do you think, Adam?
I think Kevin going is exactly how I would go, because I think honestly, I would kind of even look off the board and see who's in the AHL that we want to give a shot to, because I don't think there's going to be a lot of opportunities with screw Carter Hart. I don't think there's going to be a lot of opportunities in free agency, but I will say I really do like the fact that if you look at Armstrong has found quality guys over in the European leagues. I mean, he found Veggie. No one knew Veggie, and he got him. So can he find a diamond in the rough? Potentially, but I don't think we're going to get him from a free agency. I think we're going to have to go fishing a little bit in the AHL / European markets. And I'm okay with that if the team feels okay with that. I think Vanacek was really kind of their decision of like, hey, we're going to pick up this guy, and this guy is going to be okay for us. And then his history didn't kind of follow up, so.
Amber.
Yeah.
So we'll get to Kevin or Carter Hart here in a minute. You're absolutely correct, but the young kid, Harbaugh, I think his name is?
Yeah, Crable.
Great April. I think that he might actually come up. I don't know yet, but I could see them bringing him up just to do it and see what he's going to do in the 4 games of the preseason and the rookie tryouts and stuff like that.
So he was actually in the rookie tryouts last year when I went and did some of the stuff with the team there.
Okay.
He was up. He was decent for what he was, but again, it was rookie tryouts. Everyone's kind of doing it for the first time. So got to watch him practice, got to watch him do the black and white game, which was basically, the black jerseys versus the white jerseys. And he looked fine enough, right? But you got to put him against actual competition. So I don't think he's coming up. I think he's going to be in the AHL to go for a while. I think if he gets to the AHL, he's going to be in the AHL all year. He might get a stint as a backup, but I severely doubt that. If there's an injury, then yes, he's going to be kind of more of a third option for Utah. But I don't see him being up with the team unless something major happens. I think they want to cook him a little bit more. He needs to kind of get ready. So.
Well, I think that's a smart move, but I just don't know. Do we go out and get a goalie for a year or two, or do we just...
It's an interesting question.
I don't know.
Because do we want to... I think a year gives Crable a bit of... there you go, Bob. Crable has a bit of time to get ready. In 2 years, is he going to be here? Do we sign for 1 year? Do we want to block him off for an extra year? I think a 2-year deal might be the best, but I don't want to block the kid. But if we get a two-year two-way deal, we'll definitely keep up the guy for the first year, and as long as he's willing to take AHL in the second, I think we should be okay.
I hope so. So going back to Carter Hart, I don't know if you heard or not, but the Canes fans chanting "No means no" when he was skating around the warm-up.
Well, there was the Go Knights Go when we were doing it, and I made Amber can attest to this. When we were down in Vegas, I was doing the "No means no" chant. Of course, they that didn't catch on there, but yeah. Here's the thing, man.
I don't know what's going on.
It's not a good look for the league. Because there's the two schools of thought on here. It's, hey, he was acquitted, he's good, he should be good to go. And then there's the he should have known better. And I kind of fall more into that camp of, if there's something, not cool going on, don't participate in it, even if it seems like, because nothing good happens from that, right? From a PR standpoint, it's terrible. From a human standpoint, it's terrible. And, at the end of the day, how can you celebrate somebody like that when there's going to be a cup victory? There's still going to be people in Vegas that are going to be like, yeah, but, this is who we've got. And that goes back to that first question when we were talking about, right? Vegas makes these moves where they don't give a shit about player accountability. They don't care about, loyalty. They don't care about public persona. They get who they're going to get because that's who they think is going to be there. So, again, if I'm a Vegas fan, I'm happy they're there. But I'm feeling a little sketched out about Carter for what he has. Not everyone feels that way, though. There's a lot of people that are like, hey, he was acquitted, so he's good to go. But, not guilty is not necessarily innocent, if that makes sense. So,
acquitted is not necessarily innocent, yeah.
So,
and I take personal things out of the way. I've never liked Carter Hart. Even when he was with the Flyers, when he just started coming up, there's something about him that I did not like.
Yeah, he kind of came off. Douchey. But then again, I remember the Islanders playing the Flyers, and there was a play he made that I was like glad he screwed up and kind of looked like an idiot. Part of that was, hey, he screwed up while he was playing the Islanders. But the other part of that was just he came off douchey, and I couldn't figure out why. And then obviously years later we find out why. But yeah, I mean, but then I look at Vegas and I'm like, well, I am rooting for Marner. So, I mean, there is that part of things where I do want to see, and I know all of your Toronto friends do not want to see that necessarily, but Marner's had a really good playoff. And so, I'm all right with him.
I've told one of my least fans this. Build a bridge, get over it, he's gone.
Yeah.
Be happy for him. He's got a great team around him. And in the long run, he's going to make Toronto a better team now that he's gone.
Yeah, I mean, the cap space, yes. I think the fact that you've got a two-way – hey, Madigan. I think the fact that you've got this good two-way forward and he's gone now, I don't think that's ever going to necessarily help a team. The cap space, though, definitely helps.
Yeah. And I think that there was some things that are going on in the locker room that we don't know about. So
I'm a little dark in here. Let me see if I can lighten myself up with this here really fast.
It's the light behind you.
Yeah. Let's do that. See if that helps any. That's a little bit better.
That's a little bit better.
Yeah, I think having the first overall pick really helps them out as well. That cannot hurt to have a first overall. Anytime you're going to pick first, you're going to be set. Although I still am interested in seeing what they do because the realm of possibilities include that trade I ended up mentioning last time we chatted because you can trade down a third. and still get who you want if you're looking for the defenseman. If that's the way you want to go, and then you could pick up a first round next year, and you're going to be picking it up from a team who doesn't necessarily qualify for the playoffs next year. So you're going to get another high round pick. So
the only downfall of that though is you cannot, if you're in the top 3, you cannot get back into the top 3 the following year.
Yeah, I know it's if you win, you can't win again, something like that. There's something that you can't do because San Jose has been in the top 5 for a couple years straight. If I remember right, it's the Edmonton.
They were 4 and 5, and now they're 2.
Yeah, last year they were 2 as well, I think. Right? Yeah, they picked up Misa last year at number 2 as well.
Yeah, Misa.
So yeah, you can.
So I got to give a shout out to Madigan here. Congratulations, Orinsky, getting the Norris. Now your light is really bad on Riverside.
Oh no. Is that any better?
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, ring light might be a little off there, but.
No, you're good.
I can't see anything because my computer screen is completely dead. So between my headphones and my computer screen and everything's just been terrible for me lately. So
it is what it is. I might just be ordering you a microphone. Headphones.
I got the microphone. It's the headphones that aren't working. And now who knows? My screen might be dead. I've been having problems with it the last 2 days. So.
Yeah, it happens. Stupid computers.
Yeah.
So, anything else you want to talk about?
Honestly, I'm kind of looking forward to the offseason. I hate these teams. I hate both teams that are playing right now. So for me, I am probably one of the least motivated finals for me in quite some. I mean, last year was disappointing because it was the same 2. But this has been a very disappointing year. So I'm really looking forward to the offseason at this point.
It's funny that you say that because at the beginning of the year, I picked Vegas and Carolina in the finals, Carolina winning it, but I don't have as much interest in this.
Yeah, it's one of those things that
I really want to know what's going to happen in the offseason with the Mammoth.
I do too, because there's a lot that can happen this offseason. A lot of moves that are going to be made. I know Yamamoto's not coming back. Not only do I look at the cap situation, I know someone from the team that basically said so. And it's a shame because I've
Where's he going to go?
I don't know. I mean, they haven't hit free agency yet, so who knows where he's going to go. But I don't see them re-signing him. And I mean, even if they wanted to, he's taking a spot. You got a Ginla coming up. They're going to keep a Ginla in. They're going to kind of shuffle things around. And where would he stay? You got Carconi, right? So Carconi and Yamamoto were the same role player, a small guy who's got a motor, who's not afraid to hit, and who's going to just give it all 24/7. And both guys fill that role, and you only need one of those guys. And they hitched their wagon to Carconi last year, with the signing, and that's great. But Yamamoto's going to be another one of those guys who, I kind of liked him a little bit before, but moving forward, man, I'm going to love watching where he goes again. Unless it's at the Rangers or Toronto or a couple of teams I'm not going to be happy about, but I'm going to want to see him do well, so.
Yeah. So in the chats, does anybody else have anything to talk about?
I'm going to make Amber ask a question.
You want to bring up where you... There you go. Ask Amber to bring something up.
She could be dealing with the dogs right now. The dogs have been a nightmare. We could chat about them for a minute, too. Having 2 dogs is crazy.
Amber, are you dealing with the dogs?
She might be. That's why she's not texting.
Yeah.
She was kind enough to grab him.
Other than good. Aw. To see you done.
Yeah. She's happy that you're coming up for the classic.
There she goes hitting on me again.
Yeah.
My wife and I are actually going to try to come up for the first game of the season.
Oh, sweet. Cool. Let us know. We'll do something live here.
Oh, yeah. We'll let you know. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Live at the Delta Center.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. We can go sit out and, live at the Delta. Hey, did you guys get your season tickets yet?
Us, yeah. We
for next season.
Yeah, we've got kind of the plan. And so, yeah, we signed up for the season tickets like a day after. Basically, my ticket rep was like, "Hey, you want to re-up?" And I was like, "Yes." He's like, "Payment plan or in full?" And I'm like, "I don't have the money for in full, so we're gonna go payment plan."
Same seats.
Same seats. I love where we sit, by the way, because you sat in that section, and it's right kind of on the blue line. There is a group of my friends that sit up a little bit higher than us, and I kind of want to get together, but I also kind of want to just stay right on that aisle. That's right there. I don't necessarily want to move from the aisle because I love it. But I really kind of want us all together so we can get chants and we can get things going. It'll be fun if we can do that, but it's definitely it's going to be a couple of years in process as everybody who's the resellers in that area moves away, and everybody who's true fans kind of move into that spot. So
yeah. Alrighty, well, I guess that's it for the night.
Yeah. Good
Almost an hour, so that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a good Tundra talk today, and I enjoy talking about stuff. So, but we'll be here next week. We'll know more about the Stanley Cup Finals. I might have a new monitor and headphones. Who knows? Best Buy will tell me tonight.
So. All right, everybody. Y'all have a great evening.
You guys take care.
Talk to you all soon.
Thanks for all the support, everybody. Doug, you have a good one, and we'll chat next week.
You too.
Bye, everybody.
Talk to you soon.
Take care.